Hello, YouTube community, train fans, and other types of fans. Retro Nostalgia fan here, and today, welcome back to a new video. A long time since I made an actual video, and today I'm going to show you my Railway Series collection. This is what my grandma Cindy got me for Christmas. I love this thing. I got it brand new. Sadly, I was too excited where I kind of opened it. I opened this lid too aggressively, so that happened. But crap happens. Anyway, this is a brand new box, near mint box now. 2007 Railway Series Classic Library. There's a picture of Thomas from Thomas the Tank Engine. I love that picture. I love the Railway Series. If I ever had to pick, this is like one of my favorite book series to actually read. Like most books, I was so picky. I was a picky reader. The only things I would read is Beatle biographies or Rolling Stone biographies. Mainly with autobiographies about bands I love. Or figures and actors I care about. But other than that, though, not anything else that much. But Thomas, I loved reading the Railway Series books. I never had these as a kid. Well, I had a couple of them. I had those Thomas Tank Engine Friends fan club books from 2001 to 2002. Where it was a flip book and it had two stories, either from the same book or two stories from different books, one from each different book. But these are the original thing. The first actual full Railway Series book I've ever read was Edward the Blue Engine. But yeah, they're right here. Let's look at the box. It's Thomas at Knapford Station, I believe. And what's interesting is his face looks like Christopher Audrey's illustration. There's Thomas right there. It's the top and hat, or the Fat Controller if you're from Europe and Australia. There's the back of Thomas. He got coal dust on his paint. And there's the top and hat, the Fat Controller. And there's Thomas. Okay, it's Elsbridge Station. My mistake. Sorry about that. Yeah, Thomas needs a little wash down. But one more thing I'm going to show you before I start actually showing the box set is I actually going to make a little video on this. This is a metallic Ertl Thomas I got on eBay for about 18 bucks. It's worth it, keeping him brand new. And I got an unpunched 1993 Ertl Balgi in my favorite style packaging. Like I said in my first video, I love this style of packaging, and I'm not done from collecting Ertl. I'm still collecting Ertl. But on the back, I have all of these characters brand new, except for the breakdown train, or as it's called, the breakdown truck. That's the only one I'm trying to get brand new in this style of packaging from that checklist. And from the back of this Thomas, I just need the Chinese Dragon. I need Scrap Trevor, the breakdown truck, or the train, breakdown train, as it was called in the TV series. And I think that's about it, actually. Otherwise, I have pretty much all of these brand new. And then we got one Railway Series book from the Christopher Audrey era. This is one of the rarest ones, Thomas and the Fat Controller's Engine. It's actually a really good book. Not as good as his father's books, but this is still a really good book. It's from 1995. And I got some more brand new VHSs that I'm going to make another video on in the future. I got this from the UK for $6. It's a brand new box, Ertl Percy, mint in box, keeping him brand new. And then finally I got Duke. Again, I actually did have Duke brand new in this packaging, but I opened him because I never had him out of the box. This one I'm keeping brand new, is in absolutely mint condition. So yeah. So I showed you some little Ertl models. Now back onto the box set. So let's get into it. So there are 26 books, and I put them backwards. There's book number 26, tramway engines, all the way to 3 railway engines. I'll show them nicely. These are in like near mint shape. I've read each of these books about 5 times straight. I love these books. The 3 railway engines, one of the easier books to get. This is a 2004 print in a 2007 box, but it's in fantastic condition. I'm going to show you all of them. Thomas Tank Engine. This is a classic, but it was one of the first. I just love this illustration. Best illustration in my opinion. Then we get James the Red Engine. Lovely copy. Probably my least favorite book from the Reginald Dalby Illustrated era, which he did the first 11 books. This is my least favorite out of all of them. I think this one's still a good book. I mean, all of these are fantastic books, but this is probably the weakest out of story-wise. Unless you're a James fan, then that one won't disappoint you. Tank Engine Thomas again. This one I did read as a kid at my private school when I was younger. This was a second Railway Series book I actually rented, and I love this book. I know some fans don't like this one from the first Thomas book, but I personally like this one just as much. I still like the original a little bit more, but I still love Tank Engine Thomas again. It's just a fun children's book. It's one of my favorites. Troublesome Engines, I think, is one of the best early illustrated books. This is definitely one of my favorites. Henry the Green Engine, this is a classic. Love this one. Toby the Tram Engine. This one's a very nice, relaxing book. I feel like this one would fit the time when you go out somewhere and you're just out of your house, but you want to go read a book that feels like it's a traveling book. And this is one of my I think this book fits the traveling scenery for when you go somewhere. I like bringing Toby the Tram Engine. Gordon the Big Engine. Now, this is actually probably my favorite out of the Dalby Illustrated era. This is a great story. It builds Gordon's character very well. I love this book. There's the back of it. And then we got Edward the Blue Engine. I love this book too. This one I actually first rented at a library. This was the first Railway Series book I ever read. So this one has sentimental feelings for me, as well as Tank Engine Thomas again. Four Little Engines, I've never read this one, and I've never seen this one when I was younger. Not until I was a teenager I saw this one. This is a good book. I think it's not my favorite narrow gauge engine book, though. This one, yes, also was illustrated by Reginald Dalby. Percy the Small Engine, I do love this one. This is another one I've read the stories when I was younger, but in the Thomas and Friends fan club books, the flip books. And this is Percy the Small Engine. I've only read 3 of the stories on here from when I was a kid. The only one I did not read was Duck Takes Charge when I was younger. I read that one more recently when I was a teenager. But this is the last book with Reginald Dalby's illustration, and this is a great book. Now we're in my favorite illustrated era, the John Kenny era. 8 Famous Engines. Love this book. And I think Double Header, in comparison to Time for Trouble, is way better in the Railway Series book. The story itself is way better in the book than the actual TV series from season 3, but it's still a good story, I think. It's just meh in the TV series. Duck and the Diesel Engine. This is a fantastic Railway Series book. It's actually one of my top 5 favorites. I love this book. This book is my second favorite book. I just love this book. This book is so fantastic. Little Old Engine, a much better improvement for stories than the first 4 Little Engine book. I like how Wilbur tried something new in that one, but this one has way more creativity. The Twin Engines, Donald and Douglas. I love the Scottish Twins, but personally, I'm just not. This one's probably my least favorite book from the whole first 26 Railway Series books from Wilbur Awdry. It's still a decent book, but I'm not a big fan of a couple of the stories on here. The last 2 stories are my favorite. The first 2, they're okay. Not bad, just okay. And then we get Branch Line Engines. Back on good track. I love this book. This is one of my favorite books, too. I love Percy's Predicament, as well as Bullseye and Thomas Comes to Breakfast. Fantastic book. Gallanted Old Engine is the next one. Now, this one, I do like this book. Don't get me wrong. I love this book. But my only nitpick with this book is that I don't like the story Passengers and Polish. It's actually my least favorite Railway Series book story It's my least favorite story from the whole first 26 Railway Series books. I just don't like how mean Duncan is. He's such a jerk, and he doesn't learn from his mistakes in that story. It's not until Gallant Old Engine where he actually learns his Hampkins or his little problems. But despite that one story being the worst story from the whole 26 books from Wilbur Awdry, the worst story from the Wilbur era of the Railway Series, the rest of the book is fantastic. It doesn't stop it from being a bad book. It's still a fantastic book. I just don't care for that one story. Stepney Bluebell Engine. This is a friggin' fantastic book. I love this one a lot. This one is fantastic. Even the first story, which was never adapted in the TV series, I still love that story. I think it may sound boring in concept, but I think how it's executed in this book is actually done well, in my opinion. Mountain Engines. This one I have always was curious about. I love this book, but as a kid I was wondering who Caldy and Godred were, because I've seen them in Ertl form as well as Wind Railway and Take Along, mainly Caldy, but I never knew what I thought he was from season 8 or season 9 of the show, and it was an episode I've never seen, but no, he was never into the TV series, so found that out. This is a really good book. Very Old Engines. Now, I probably could see that some fans would think this is the worst out of the first 26 books, but I loved Skarloey and Rheneas, and I think this is a little fun origin story. It was not adapted because it was boring, but I still think it's a good way. How it was executed, it's still really good in my opinion. Mainline Engines. Actually, I take back what I said about Duck and the Diesel Engine. That one's my third favorite. Mainline Engines, this is my second favorite Railway Series book. And my favorite one's coming soon. This is my second favorite Railway Series book, and I love this. This is a fantastic book. Small Railway Engines. This is a good one. I'm not obsessed with this one as the others, but interestingly, this one was adapted in season 20, which was nice, since we haven't got a Railway Series adaptation since season 4, with the last episode, Mind That Bike. Here, we got an actual Wilbur Awdry. That shows that Mattel kind of cared a little bit. But personally, I think Andrew Brenner saved the show. And it's sad that Mattel is really screwing up with Thomas. Thomas is just, it's sad. Let's all keep our VHSs and DVDs as well as our old books from the classic era of Thomas. And our old merchandise. And then my favorite book, Enterprising Engines. This is probably no brainer for some Thomas fans out there, like you guys. This is my favorite because I think the stories are just, they're such a good story. It feels like a chapter it's like a chapter book where each story follows each other after and after. And that's what makes this one really good. Like, every story connects to the whole book, and that's what I love about Enterprising Engines. This was going to be my second favorite book at one point, but this is actually my favorite. I've been loving this one more and more. I never get bored with this book, and I can read this for 24/7. I never get tired of it. That's how good it is. Oliver the Western Engine. This is another great book. I love this one, but to be fair, Oliver is actually my favorite character in the TV series of Thomas. Oliver is my favorite. I just love Oliver. I love his locomotive. He's my favorite class locomotive from England and just in the world. And I think this is a fantastic book. And then finally we got 2 more books. Duke the Lost Engine. This is, in my opinion, the best narrow gauge engine story. I think this is what a fairy tale is done right with the Railway Series. I mean, Enterprising Engines is the best, but Duke the Lost Engine is my 4th favorite Railway Series book. Yeah, it's just so damn good. And then finally, Tramway Engines. Great, a little bit awkward with the story, like how the stories transfer to translate in each other. Like we start off with Woolly Bear, Ghost Train and Woolly Bear, or Percy's Ghostly Trick and Woolly Bear, and then all of a sudden we get to Mavis, which I think is an awkward transition, but despite that, the stories are still fabulous in this book. It's the last one from Wilbur Audrey, and that concludes this whole box set. Plus, my couple Ertls I got as an update, and a Christopher Audrey book. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, and I appreciate you guys very much for contributing to this channel. I appreciate it. I'll be making some more videos. I'll probably be re-reviewing some of those Ertl models I showed you over here. But anyways, you guys have a God-blessing day. Peace out.